This is a 2022 MX6000 cab tractor. This is a cab. Alright, this is, looks like, okay, it's 12 mil. They're not crazy tight. I've got my 3-point arms down, and it looks like if you want to take your wheel off, there's a plate right there that you could get to. That was my production light, aka the DeWalt light. I was trying to give you guys some light. I can see in there, but the GoPro requires extra light. Well, there's a little bit of fluid that came out of that, just to let you know. Not much, and my 3-point arms dropped just a touch when I took that off. That was kind of odd. I grabbed a flat-headed screwdriver for this plug. This plug has to come out. It's just a rubber plug, but it does have to come out. Alright, rubber plug is out, and then make sure all your O-rings are off there, like that O-ring stuck on there. You don't want to double O-ring it, I guess. And I've already got O-rings on that side. Those might get knocked off. I hope they don't. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. But this tube goes in there. That's your return. I believe that's your return. Here we go. And I'm going to reuse the bolts that I took out just because they're painted. That way I don't have to get underneath here, and I mean, I'll probably touch it up with paint anyways, but and yes, if you hear that hitting my shop, it's raining again. Last couple days, every day. It's supposed to rain every day this week, so that's glorious for paying the bills. Let me tell you. Okay, it does show those washers in there. Oh, I bet you I should have got an extension. Light's about to go by, of course, because we need it in there so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and tighten all those up for good. So let me do that real quick and we'll be right back. That way I can stack the valve and do everything out here. So give me just a second. Let's get these O-rings back in here. And then your O-rings are there. So then you have a smooth surface here to mate to. Bolts seem really long. I mean, they have enough thread, it looks like. Okay. I'm not going to tighten it with this, but I'm going to run them up. That ratchet is very, very controllable. Very controllable. Grab my torque wrench here. Click. 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 If you don't have experience doing this stuff, please torque these. Been working on stuff most of my life. Okay. Let's see. Got 2 rubber plugs here. All right. All right, let me get the fittings real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, this is where these fittings come in. This is you see this step, this is called an O-ring boss. It has an O-ring in it. The O-rings are in the kit. Put a little petroleum jelly on it, and in that is a BSP, but it could just be a MPT. It's MPT on the outside, but that inverted flare normally tells me it's a BSP, and especially since this is not American. This is from overseas. They like some BSP. You don't have to get crazy tight on O-ring boss fittings. First off, you need to pull your little squares off. Very good little nice stickers, color tone. You just pull the stickers off. You have 4 bolt holes there. There's nothing sealing that. This probably isn't necessary, but I'm gonna put a little gray silicone on it around the holes. Just because I wash my tractor a bunch and I'd like it to be sealed up if I could. Like I said, they don't show to do anything. I'm sure it's fine. But I'm sure it'll be fine like this too. I would think that's enough. This is where it'd be nice to have a friend. But with your back window open, I'm going to push that in like so. Especially with the silicone, you don't have to do that. I just thought if I could get it in there, it would be a good thing to be had. Alright, we got you a little bit different angle there. The yellow goes on the top of the valve and on the right hand side. So we'll put the red on first, and these are BSP. That's BSP. If you don't know, if you ever get internal flare setup type of deal like that, that is BSP. That is what that's called. My EMR is full of it. It's got BSP everywhere. Come on. Then the red goes to the outside. Yellow goes to the bottom, to the outside, or I mean to the top rather, and to the outside, sorry. Just seeing how these run. See what I need to do to have a wrench to tighten them up, and angle wise and all that. I'll make sure I like where it sits. And I suppose you could put these lines on before, which might be easier on this yellow one. It seems like it's going to be a little cantankerous, but we'll get it here. Man, I wish it wouldn't have rained. I mean, besides the fact of, you know, needing to keep working, and we don't need the rain all week, but it just turns it so humid. All right, well, let's see, I'll probably run them like that. That looks pretty good. I kind of like how the lines sit there. I don't know if you can tell. Dang it, my magnet. They, you know, have them leaning over both there. I mean, I might be able to get them both to go like that. I guess that would keep it more inboard. Maybe we'll do that. I'll see if I can get them tightened down right there. But anyways, let me get the lines tightened up. Okay, well, the instructions don't say anything about how to get this out. You have to replace this piece that's underneath this piece. Well, you pull 4 bolts out, and then you pull a couple bolts out of this, and you can't take the, supposedly you can't take the cables off of them. So you take your cables loose down here at your valve. Blue is on top, red is on bottom, at least on mine. Pull those off, pull these off. Okay, hang on a second. Get you guys established. Well, that's not established. Hang on. Alright, you're established. Now what I did, I took a paint pen and I marked where my nut was. So then when I run my nut off, I can run my nut back up to there and I know where it was. Same thing on this one. Get that off. Let me get that stuff off. Okay. Those should come up out of there. Voila. You guys couldn't see it coming out, but that came right out just like that. All right. Now we can get in here. Actually, I need to figure out where I'm going to put you guys. You're kind of out of the way, but you can kind of see, because you need to know how to do this, right? We need to get this handle off, and these are usually on there pretty good. That does have to come off here. Let's see if this works. This is probably gonna mess something up. Nope, there we go. Okay, now we got to take that plate off. About everything you need is 12 millimeter. All right, well, here's the there's the gasket stuff on it. That goes in there. Let's see, hopefully you guys can see what's going on in here. It's kind of dark. I think you can kind of get the idea. Put that back over there. Let's see. Adhesive protector deals. I'm not in love with that at all. Okay, we should be able to put this back on. All right. Hopefully that doesn't have to come back off. Blue one goes up in there, the red one goes through there. There's already little holes in that foam rubber piece. There they are. Come on. It's a very awkward piece to mess with. And then you guys didn't see this, but I guess with my head in your way, you can't see it either. Those two bolts go through there, and then some nuts and lock washers. But let's go back down here. Let's see, man, there's nowhere to put you guys. I apologize. It's tight. It's, you know, I got to have you kind of in my way. Oh, let's see. Let's get our cables. Cable wrap. Then I think the blue one was on the top. I'll have to go back and look. And then I put the paint on there so you can run those up. You can use a Sharpie too if you want. I tend to use a paint pen, and I kind of saturate it to where it floods down in there, and then it really gets right up there where it shows you where the edge of that nut was. If you hit it with a Sharpie, a lot of times you're like a thread or so off. Okay. All right. This is standard height. You know, the handle will go on it like that, but like I can get my whole hand, I mean, if that shows you, it's about 3.5 inches off of here, and it tells you to cut it. I don't know if I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to leave it like that. I mean, it tells you to cut it like 3.3 inches or something like that, but that thing is like, you know, 12 inches long or something like that. Let's get this light in here and I'll show you. I've got the cotter keys just temporarily in it so I can run the valve. But here's where your lever comes down in. It actually goes in the middle slot. You would think that it would go in the far left slot. It doesn't. It goes in the middle slot. But it sits really nice there. The pins are going in the opposite directions. I'll put them in the same way. So anyways, I'm gonna shove that thing on there, and I am going to, you know what? Cut lever tube 3.3 inches. So you do not cut the lever, you cut the lever tube. I didn't see the lever tube. 3.3 inches, so that's why it didn't push down all the way, even though I was like pushing like this. So I'm gonna trim that down so it fits good and I can get my handle on it, and we'll be done with the rear remote kit. So I'm glad you guys watched. This is a 2022 MX6000 cab tractor. It's different for an open station. Open station's a lot easier. Not that this was difficult. It's not difficult. If you guys can turn wrenches, it's very, very simple. It's not a difficult task. The instructions suck. I'll show you the instructions. So it shows you this, and it doesn't show you, you know, like your I can't even think, your rear drive section, the big bull gear that's in there. You get this picture, and it just describes lever plate. You get this picture, and it shows you your bracket, and it goes through and tells you apply grease to bearing or to O-rings, attach return pipe. That was that little tube that had the O-rings on it that went in, so it was a return. It gives you your torque specs for different size bolts. It tells you how long to trim the tube. Literally, this is what we're doing. Stowing lever tube. So they're telling you to put the little plastic tube on. Holder, the coupler holder, attach the coupler holder to it. It shows you this is valve 1, 2, and 3 if you have it stacked. I don't know why they're saying tilt them to the 45 degrees. Anyways, it gives you this picture, which that's your first remote. So your top is yellow, your bottom's red, and it kind of shows you what it's doing. It doesn't show you that assembly on it. You know, your manifold assembly, check piping and valving, and then you come in here, and this is where you can kind of break down what you're doing. This is your standoff piece. That tube goes into there, goes on, that bolts on, you put your O-rings on, and then it kind of shows your final driver, your bull gear or whatever back there, and then it gives you the description of your couplers, and then it just says second remote, third remote, description of parts. It doesn't tell you, in a cab, you have to take the loader valve assembly out, and you know what you need to do that. It doesn't tell you any of that. It doesn't really tell you much. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. It may be a little long. I'm going to try to condense it to what we needed to do, but I hope it helps. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.